just looking back on my time as Vice President, I started when COVID hit, so the previous BSR President and myself took on our roles around February-March 2020. So I think my first major achievement really was taking with Sanjeev the BSR clinical part of the BSR through COVID and really growing into the role of representing children and young adults and the community that serve the children and young adults through a very, very difficult time. It just wasn't the physical side of COVID that we addressed within the BSR, but also the mental health of young people and taking that forward. So if I was to emphasise one thing from my tenure as Vice President and Paediatric Lead here, it will be in bringing our paediatric and adolescent and young adult community of health professionals together and joining the BSR family, providing a life course approach. By bringing the paediatric and adolescent community into the BSR, I think there have been a number of enormous positives. Firstly, the ability of paediatric rheumatologists to have a good dialogue with adult rheumatologists, and we share similar conditions, and so when we're talking about transitioning our patients and developing transition services, that's been enormously influenced by having those direct face-to-face or online conversations within the BSR and also with the networks that the BSR has provided. I think another enormous positive is adult rheumatologists who have previously been seeing adolescent patients have a new body of expertise and enthusiasm that they can link in with. Also from a charitable point of view, the paediatric charities who are allied alongside BSR have also joined with us, and they have a strong links both within their life course charities but also other newer charities that have come on board. A lot of the work we do is very similar to the adult rheumatologists, but there are important differences, but together we can really look at finding solutions for many, many different areas that we find challenging. So together we're a lot stronger. There have been so many projects that really we've started just within talking groups across the BSR, including adult health professionals as well as our paediatric health professionals and BSR non-clinical teams. And they've started as an enthusiastic idea and really got legs, supported by all of the BSR, to become very instrumental and informative projects. I'll name a few. One that was and is still very successful is something called JIA Learn. This is on the background of us understanding the inequity of access to care for all young people to paediatric and young adult services. And so supported and part funded by the BSR, we worked tirelessly as a team to go into all of the units where there are paediatric rheumatology teams, and working with another company called Rubris that BSR employed, we managed to use that data to secure government funding for a GIRF, to get it right first time. It's the third paediatric GIRF in the country, and we are already well informed from the previous data gained within the BSR. So that is and is continuing to be an enormous success that together will change certainly English and indirectly the devolved nations care for their young people. Another area that's been successful and enjoyable to be part of is the BSR conference. Prior to my tenure here in the BSR, we had a separate conference that was for paediatric rheumatologists and adolescent rheumatologists. While this was much loved and something that we as a community held dear, being part of the bigger BSR picture, the time had come to gradually integrate into the much larger annual conference. Now this was not an easy road, but together with the BSR non-clinical and clinical teams and our clinical committees, we've really made this work. This year in the conference we had an excellent paediatric programme. It was well attended by adult members who reported back how much they learned and enjoyed it, and as importantly our members could actually attend adult sessions and network with adult health professionals. An example of this is scleroderma. This year we had a joint adult and paediatric scleroderma session alongside dermatologists, so really having a input from many different specialities. Also attending those sessions were physiotherapists who are integral into the care, and psychologists and occupational therapists, so a truly multidisciplinary session. The feedback from that was that not only have people found the new information interesting, but also the networking face-to-face and online have put them in touch with people in their localities where they could build up their services. So looking forward, I think the future is good, is my first comment, in that we would envisage continuing to integrate into all areas within the BSR for this life course approach. My advice to incoming members is really continue to get involved with the committees. So as Vice President, I had a very nice overview of committee work, and that's where the change is within the educational committees, the clinical committees, and also the links with other colleges, other organisations. So we have an ambassadorial role as paediatric rheumatologists within the BSR, not just within the organisation, but also spreading the word wide. There's much to do. The equity of access for our young people across the UK is still not where it should be, and we have a real role in addressing this alongside other organisations and addressing it also with our adult colleagues. The other main area that I think will require a lot of attention from within this role for paediatrics is mental health. Mental health for our young people with chronic disease is dreadful, and I know our ongoing work within the BSR is starting to try and gather data so that we can take this important piece of work further. Finally, I'd like to say how much I've enjoyed being Vice President of the BSR and representing our community as it further engages within the BSR and becomes very much part of the larger organisation. I found the BSR extraordinarily supportive. I very much wish Penny Davies well and all the committee leads, and look forward to hearing how projects move forward and how the society thrives.